And welcome back. Once again, today's quiz question is, in The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask for the Nintendo 64, what alternate dimension does Link find himself in? Was it A, Clockton, B, Termina, C, Hyrule, or D, Zorananopolis? And the answer is B, Termina. And with that shocking revelation under your hat, let's go to our stunningly beautiful news hostess, Emma, with today's gaming news.
Thanks, G. My name is Emma Alder, and I'm your news correspondent here on Game Over. And this week in the world of gaming, we have good news for fans of Mass Effect. BioWare has released a teaser trailer for Mass Effect 2, the highly anticipated sequel to the popular sci-fi RPG. The trailer has some haunting suggestions that the beloved Shepard may actually have died in battle. The ambiguous message makes players wonder if this means that their character, which they spent so many hours leveling up, is actually going to be usable in the sequel. Casey Hudson, the project director, has said that players should keep their save files from the first game because their choices will have a continued effect in the upcoming release. And in other news, Microsoft is putting $1.5 million into a Games for Learning Institute, designed to study the effects of video games and the relation to learning. The project is determined to see if any of the skills developed during gaming are carried over into an educational setting. John Nordlinger, the head of research for Microsoft, was quoted saying, "We want to figure out what's compelling about the games. If we can figure out how to make games fun and not make them so violent, that would be ideal. And I'm sure figuring out the addictive quality of games wouldn't be such a bad idea for future profits." The company is pairing with New York University and other colleges, and middle school students have already been rounded up for the study. And now for a little gossip on our hope-loving president, Barack Obama. According to Star magazine, Barack has been fighting a BlackBerry addiction of his own and has been rumored to unwind at night by playing a little brick breaker before bedtime. He has a high score of 15,000. Thank you, Star magazine, for making our days a little brighter and our minds a little dumber with your pointless information. And that's all for gaming news. Back to Colin and G for our top 5.
Thanks, Emma. Every gamer has experienced those moments of supreme frustration, much like listening to Emma speak. You know, those moments that make you run screaming out of your house looking for infants to punch just so you feel accomplished? Well, in that same vein, Game Over presents the top 5 ways to unbalance game mechanics.
It's really low of you to say that. All those things. Anyways, at number 5, it's the most obvious option to break the game: cheating. Everything from God mode in an RPG to the more subtle auto-aim hack in a first-person shooter, cheating is an easy way to destroy any challenges in the game. Plus, it's a great life lesson. If something is too hard, find a way to deal with it. Instead of punching some buttons, why not punch the smart kid in the class until he does your homework for you? You'll reap the rewards without the hassle. Plus, it leaves you with more time to look up cheat codes.
Coming in at number 4 are buffs, some of the legitimate ways to break the game in your favor. Buffs are tiny ways to change a mathematical equation. Raise damage by 50%, move twice as fast, heal at a faster rate, double the size of your manhood. All are just tiny ways to ruin a game. They change the focus of the game from a challenge of skill to a battle of endurance. Regardless of who has the better strategy, he who has the most buffs will usually come out on top.
At number 3 is a more entertaining way to ruin a game: overpowered character classes. Who needs to turn on God mode when you can just take the God class and lay waste to everything? Classic overpowered classes include the Paladin from Diablo 2. I'm talking about the infamous Thornzara. If maxed out, it returns over 1,000% of damage taken. A steady difficulty curve is essential to the sense of accomplishment that comes from playing video games. Being overpowered is fun, but any gamer looking for the satisfaction of winning a challenging battle will quickly get bored with an overpowered character.
Coming in at number 2 is another entertaining way to unbalance the game: really big guns. From Doom's BFG 9000 to Fallout 3's experimental MIRV, huge weapons have always been a great way to make the game easier. The concept is simple: reward the player with a weapon of wanton destruction and watch him lay waste to everything. Why do these weapons exist? Because they can. Game designers are creative people, and one of the ways they show this is through interesting and powerful weapons. But unlike an overpowered character class, you can always tuck that weapon away and go back to enjoying the game and all the challenges it has to offer.
And finally, our number 1 choice is where weapon design goes horribly, horribly wrong. That's right, it's awesome weapons that completely wreck the difficulty curve. And I'm talking about you, Energy Sword from Halo 2. It's all fun and shooty until some noob grabs the sword and then, watch out, another jackass ruins a perfectly fun match. Or the final Smash Orb from Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Here we are having a great time beating each other until some glowy ball shows up and suddenly Mr. Game & Watch turns into Cthulhu. Game designers, please realize that anytime a game becomes less about killing monsters or each other and more about finding a particular weapon, something has gone wrong.
And now, let's go back to the multi-talented Greg with Gaming Preview.
Thanks, Colin. It is far too often that PC games just slip under the radar. But we here at Game Over won't let that happen to you on our watch. So while everyone is rushing out to snatch Halo Wars from the shelves, you, the viewer, know better. You know that you should really just relax at home, log into Steam, and download one of the most anticipated PC games of 2009, Sega's Empire Total War. For those of you who don't know, the Total War series began its historical campaign strategy series in 2000 with Shogun. Since then, they have delved into Roman history and the medieval period twice. Now with Empire, they are tackling the 18th century. For those of you who aren't history buffs, think the Revolutionary War and colonialism everywhere. Now, before you get concerned, you might learn too much. This isn't your grandfather's history game. Sure, the developers realized that the combine harvester wasn't invented until 1838, so they took out baled hay. And the vegetation is all location-specific. And sure, Sega actually altered the mustaches on character models after they received a 4-page letter from a community member that explained to them the historical inaccuracy of some of the mustaches. I have no idea where that sentence was going, but the game is more educational than most college professors, and you won't even have to put on pants to get in some learning. Empire will be the first Total War game to feature naval combat, and let me tell you, they went all out. In addition to maneuvering a fleet of ships, small and large, in real-time battles, you'll have to deal with waves as you line up your cannon fire, lest your shots simply sail into the sky. During battle, you can choose between different types of cannon fire, and if you can maneuver well enough, you can even board enemy ships, fight to take them over, and even reverse engineer any technology that your faction hasn't already discovered for use within the rest of your fleet. There's all this and so much more to look forward to when Empire Total War releases on March 3rd, so keep an eye out. And now we're heading back to G with today's Word of the Day.
Now it's time for our second break, but first our word of the day. And today's word is guild. Find out the definition when we return.